Welcome to another episode of Awaken Women Podcast. Thank you so much for being here. I hope I find you in the place of feeling joyful and peaceful today. And today I wanted to speak to a woman who has been the good one for her entire life, the one that doesn't want to disappoint, the one that has been carrying everyone else's feelings, emotions, and needs quietly, this very heavy backpack, the one that learned very early that being easy, being helpful, and obedient is the way to feel safe, to keep herself safe. And this woman is you. If this woman is you, this episode is for you, and this woman is definitely me. So I hope you'll find value in this episode. And this episode isn't about blaming and finding and pointing fingers as to why it happened. It's more about finding out and understanding that the pattern that we find ourselves with or within is playing a part in our life, and it leads to self-abandonment and exhaustion, quite frankly, and how we can start to move to come back to ourselves. So where does it begin? Where do we learn that being a good girl or good woman is going to keep us safe, is going to get us what we want? Because there's always a win in those behaviors. And that's why it's so important to not judge yourself. It's just understanding that this is just a coping mechanism that we come up with. And so we learn that we are being praised for being quiet, for being helpful, for being accepting, for being agreeable, and that teaches us that that's kind of how we get through life, and that's how we get what we want in life, which is very often, as I said, leads to lack of self-connection, it's a self-abandonment essentially, because when we are always focusing our attention and our safety, our very safety is determined by others and how good we can be for others, then we have a problem because we're basically living our life as a doormat for others, as a rubber duck, constant rubber duck of everyone else's needs, emotions, feelings, because we don't know where to put that boundary in place. And I hope this episode will help you, because we're going to move on. As we move on in this episode, we're going to talk about how to start coming back to yourself and how to fucking do it, because it's so important. Because once you do, behind every healing, behind every unpatterning yourself in life, you will find that on the other side of letting go of the old patterns that are no longer serving you, there is power, there is ownership, there is responsibility, but there is leadership. There is you owning your life in a way that you have never owned it before. It puts you in a place of power. Another way that we learn this pattern of being a good girl and always, going for the easy route of being swayed by others in a way, because when we are being a good girl, we basically are being almost swayed by others' decisions, by others' needs, because if we're tending to others' needs, then we don't tend to the needs that we have, right? Because you can't really split yourself, and you can, but a lot of us women don't, because if we have that pattern which comes from the place of for me to be safe, for me to feel good, for me to feel like I deserve to be here, I have to be pleasing, I have to be good, I have to be condoning, and I have to be this agreeable human being. So that in itself is self-abandonment, and there is no happiness in that. There is no, because your soul will always speak to you. Your soul will always be like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Why aren't we not following my path? Why aren't we following our path and we following everyone else's paths? And we never get anywhere. And all we find ourselves being is exhausted. So We learn that love is conditional. We learn that for our parents to, give us time, give us attention. We learn that that's, to do that. Often we can be learning that through, if you are good, then that's what we do. Or if then, it's a carrot and a stick approach, right? And so that's why we think that that's kind of how it should be. And especially as women in this world, it's so much easier. That's why we play the role in the patriarchy that we do, because it's so much easier to condition women for pleasing, because we are wired for a peripheral vision. We are wired for creating spaces. We are wired for nurturing. We are wired for these things naturally, so much more than men. Not to say that men aren't. Men, of course, have all these things as well, and we have all the parts that men carry. It's just we have a potency of that as a feminine, as we mainly women carry more feminine energy, and we have this mothering energy within us. We carry it within our womb, so therefore, it's so much easier for us to be almost kind of programmed as young girls to be condoning, to be a good girl, right? It's much easier for a boy to be just, a naughty boy, and he is not liked. Teachers like him, he's more accepted, Girls are taught to be obedient. And so when we understand that we're actually trying to find safety through the compliance, through being compliant, and it's not the truth, it's not truth that we are looking for here. We are just looking for safety, and we can see that, and it's not in alignment with who we are. When we understand that actually I am the very thing that makes me feel safe, when we actually finally embody the fact that you are it, you are the answer to your prayers, you are it. There's no one, you don't need a savior, you don't need anyone coming to come and tell you how you're supposed to live your life, or how you're supposed to be, or what you are allowed to do or say or be. Then you can be your own sovereign girl, and you are, and your soul knows it. So this pattern has not started because you are weak. It hasn't started because there was something wrong with you. It started because you were wise in your environment. You were wise. You knew how to learn to be. And that's what got you to be where you are today. And so we have to honor those parts, but we also have to break the pattern to understand that at some point we have to then understand that this pattern needs to be broken, because it no longer serves the purpose. It served the purpose when you were a little girl. Now you are an adult, sovereign being who can make her decisions and rule her life and choose to be unfuckwittable. Unfuckwittable, meaning that you carry this potent, beautiful frequency of love and joy, and you keep your own aura safe and abundant and healthy. And then with that energy, you go out to the world with boundaries, firm boundaries, going about your world, going about your journey with no apologies, not apologetically, not apologizing for, excuse me, can I walk in? No, you walking into the rooms that you own, and because you deserve to be in those rooms. That's it. You don't have to have a permission slip. But if you feel like you do, then this is one. This podcast coming to you today is your permission slip. For you to own yourself. For you to say no, I'm not going to, no longer. I'm no longer going to put others' needs before my own. And essentially what this is an emotional labor and a chronic stress. Being a good girl and constantly, subconsciously being wired for thinking of others' needs, and constantly, and not speaking our truth, not saying what we want, not allowing ourselves for these things, it leads to emotional labor. You're constantly at work. Your nervous system never stops. Constantly thinking of others, managing emotions, moods, and creating harmony and keeping that harmony. Walking on tippy toes around your partner, around your parents, around your friends. Like, if there is a feeling of that, that's an anxiety, that's a low level anxiety. And it's the feeling of being burdened by others' expectations. It's feeling like, I don't know if I can carry all this. Because I'm slowly crashing, slowly but surely I'm crashing. I've been wired to ignore my needs. So I'm doing well with just going for it in life and keep taking over day by day. But I'm going to tell you right now, at some point your body is going to, if it hasn't yet, it's going to start to manifest this ease that it feels because of constant need to be something that you are not. Because maybe, just maybe, there is a big part of your rebellion and the passionate person and someone who's so inspired to create something amazing. And until you have this part within you burning and going for it, like if it's there within you, asking to come to fruition in this lifetime, being a good girl is not the way to get there. That's not how you're going to get to where you want to be in life. I mean, physically, you may create a 3D reality that's aligned with what you want, and you may look around and be like, yeah, this is good, that's what I wanted. But internally, there's always going to be the voice within you if you're not following your own needs, your own wants, your own passions. There's always going to be a voice within you saying, this isn't it. This isn't it. That's not where it's at. And so, yeah. So when we connect to our body and we understand that our nervous system never really rests when we are in the performer boots, in the compliant, obedient girl boots, in a good, nice girl boots, when we choose silence when our body wants to speak, when our spirit wants to say something, when we don't feel like we can be ourselves around people, when we feel this tightness in our shoulders, tightness in our body, there's like a constant underline feeling of that something has to happen, or that I need to do something, or is there anyone else to perform for, or is it okay to switch it off? So yeah, it's difficult to be living in that low level fight or flight mode all the time, because if you have any goals in your life, if you want to lose weight, if you want to have any physical goal, like of marathon or whatever you are up to, or if you have a big vision, big goal for yourself, or you are working on a project, I'm telling you right now that the energy and the amount of energy that you have wasted, or you are wasting, without having the return, because a lot of the time we don't actually have a great deal of a return by just being the people pleaser. People don't respect us so much. Like energetically, people do feel the weakness that comes from that pleasing energy and the need and want to be seen, to be heard, because basically that's why we do it. And so when we see that actually I don't need any of that because I am it, then the page is turning, quite literally. I'm turning the page on my notebook for today. I have spilled lots of tea on it as well, so half of it is all blurred, so it's no help, but never mind. We keep rolling. So what is the cost of on the body and the identity that happens through the virtue of being a people pleaser, being the good woman? The fatigue the sleep doesn't fix, like just getting 8 hours in doesn't fix it. The tension and anxiety and numbness that we feel in our body, this constant tension in the body, in the nervous system. I don't know if you can relate, but I have this as well, and mine isn't actually connected to, people pleasing, because I've stopped doing that a long time ago. Mine is to do with ADHD. I'm now getting diagnosed for ADHD, and it's a new discovery for me, absolutely new discovery about my own nervous system and the fact that, despite being a meditator for the last 6 years, I'm realizing that a nervous system exhaustion is a thing. And so the feeling of the exhaustion and it feels like it's literally in your spine, because that's where the nervous system is. I mean, it feels like heaviness in the spine. It's a constant feeling of anxiety and a low level of fight or flight. It's like, what else do I need to do? So, for me, it could be ADHD. It could be that's kind of what I'm learning right now. But it just goes to show that our nervous system regulation can be, or dysregulation can be caused by a lot of things, a lot of factors. And also, it also gives us a hope, and it's a good news, because all we have to really focus on is to start regulating our nervous system, and of course do the healing work with your mind, letting go of, and with your heart, letting go of grudges, forgive who you need to forgive, let go of the past. This is the time to move on. We are now in the year of the horse, and it's time to shed the skin. Last year, 2025, was the year of the snake, and it felt like the year of the snake. Absolutely, it felt like shedding. It was transformational, but it was also letting go of a lot of the past patterns, of even generational trauma. For myself, it was like breaking generational patterns, letting go of the pain. So it was an interesting year, and this year is the year of a horse, which means that we are now moving forward in life. We have let go of what no longer serves, and now this is the time for you to step into your truth, into your power, into being unfuckable, and beginning to choose yourself, because your body, when in fight or flight or freeze, it's only a matter of time for you to feel some sort of dis-ease and manifest some sort of dis-ease in your body, because the body isn't functioning well. It's really, really simple. If your body is constantly in the sympathetic nervous system, being constantly heightened, there's just no way that you're functioning and you will be at the most optimal health, right? And of course, stress contributes to struggle with weight loss. It contributes to mood swings. It contributes to hormonal dysregulation. I mean, there is so much. We know that stress is number one thing that leads to dis-ease. So I want you to really, really take this for yourself and start to begin to come back to yourself. So choosing yourself does not mean you are being selfish. It doesn't also have to happen that you are now going to announce to everyone that from now on you are changing and this is what's going to happen. You don't have to do that. And I wouldn't actually recommend to do that. The change is internal. The change happens within you. Those decisions that you can make. So it's a decision of I'm no longer putting others' needs before mine. When you understand that it is within you, that you are it, that everything and all of your reality happens from you. When you understand that every experience you are having, every feeling, every emotion, every thought happens from you. You are the creator of your own reality. You are the creator of your experience. You get to choose every day. And so when we can take that responsibility and power back, because remember, responsibility, we may be propelled from being responsible in life, but I'm telling you right now, wherever you are not responsible, you're not taking responsibility in your life, you don't have the power there. You have given the power away to someone else. So if you want to have the power over your life, treat it as the sacred space. Your life is sacred. You are sacred. And when you see it that way, it's kind of easier to make those decisions. It's easier to make choices. It's so much easier to choose who and what you are putting your energy towards, or to whom and towards what you are choosing to give the energy, remembering that you are the sacred it in your life. You are it for you. You should be it for you. And so it's not selfish when you understand that the more you nurture you, the more healing you bring to you, the more time you have rested. What is that version? Imagine if you have never been that soft, that nurtured, that healthy, vibrant, that version that's just is at peace with herself, where she have all of her needs met. What is this version? Because I see a beautiful, soft, nurturing, loving mother, partner, co-worker, someone who is so grounded in themselves that they can solve any problems, any issues, because they have a clarity of mind. They know who they are. I see you. I see you, the real version of you, the version of you that's thriving. It's not the version of you that goes and helps thriving others. I see the version that creates her life. And she stopped creating others' lives. Because remember, no matter what you touch, as a woman, you are the creator. You create. You create spaces, you create warmth, you create nurturing wherever you are. Just question, have you done this to yourself first? Or are you running on empty? Because when we start running on empty in life, it doesn't end well. And because we are women and we are so powerful and we are such a frequency of creation, we also affect everything in the negative or positive way. I see that a lot happening in my life. If I'm not well, if I haven't taken care of me, everything around me seems to be collapsing. It just does. But when I put myself first and I take care of my gratitude practices, take care of my mindset, I take care of my soul, my food, my physical body, I feel connected to myself, to my life, I show up differently. So differently. So the way to connect to yourself is first and foremost asking yourself, what are my needs that are not being met at this very moment? What is not being met for me? I want you to sit with that and ask that question in a meditation or journaling prompt, or just with yourself. What am I actually needing right now? And oftentimes the answer may ring in your head, and it could be rest. Just rest, my dear. This could be the loving voice that comes from within you. It's okay. You don't have to perform to be enough. You don't. Trust me, you don't. Everything that you want and everything that you need is within you, and that is it. That's it. Love yourself first, then others come. Resting is not being lazy. Resting is not, in fact, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like it's something you earned. It's not a prize that you get. Rest should be part of your productivity schedule. That's it. Intervals of work and rest, work and rejuvenation. That's the feminine way. Feminine way of working, of producing, of creation, of being in the flow is being in your masculinity, creation, focus, doing 90 minutes or whatever works. If it's 25 minutes of focus you have, then do 25 minutes intervals and until you finish, and then really rest. Or go for 90 minutes of solid focus and then gift yourself with a well done, with I appreciate you, with thank you for contributing to our vision. Thank you for saying yes to me. Thank you for being there. And when you honor your needs and when you honor your being, yourself, it becomes really, really simple to what is the next step for you. So if you have been a good woman for your whole life, I want you to know this. There's nothing wrong with you. You are not broken and you are definitely not weak. Your nervous system has learned to survive in the way that it did with the circumstances that you were in. Honoring that version of you and honoring that journey is the very thing that will bring you closer to yourself again, so that you can start honoring who you really are. The beautiful soul, the beautiful heart, the kind one, the chosen one, probably, if you're listening to this podcast, because you have chosen yourself and you are the chosen one. You should be the chosen one for yourself. This is what I do with women. I help them come back to themselves with no guilt, with no pressure, with no judgment, and in their own, very own way. If this episode resonated with you, stay close. We are only just starting the conversation. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Take care.